I met the Pelted Man. When I met the Pelted Man, I was on a school camping trip. The name of the lake skips my mind, but we were camping there for 2 days and 3 nights. My cabin was on a hill, which had bunk beds across the wall. 3, I believe, 6 beds in total. The campsite was the highest budget, but our school had a tradition to go there every single year, and our class was following it. Alright, campers, for our next activity, we're going to be getting some firewood, our instructor said. A tall man with glasses and a goatee.
Why?
Marshmallows. Also, you kids have to do these certain wilderness tasks on every camping trip. I'm pretty sure it's in the Constitution. A few students muttered to each other in agreement. Honestly, that did sound like something that would be in there. Okay, forward to a group. We'll meet back here in 40 minutes. You guys need any chaperones or anything like that? He asked, scratching his goatee. Sarah, a girl from my grade, spoke up nervously. Wouldn't it be safe? Yeah, probably, but we don't have the budget for that. Hey, look, listen, you'll be fine, the instructor said absentmindedly. Alright, now, scram. Get some firewood. The hell, leave me alone. With that, my group of 4 departed. Down the path where we seen some branches on the walk earlier. It was me, Terry, Bryce, another one of my friends, and Ethan. Now, I wasn't particularly friends with Ethan. To be honest, I didn't even like him. He seemed to only exist to make other people's lives harder. And today was no different.
So, Bryce, have you heard of the Pelted Man?
Ethan said, gripping onto Bryce's shoulders as we walked. Bryce flinched for a second, before turning around to look at Ethan.
No? What's that?
He asked, curiously. I didn't want to give Ethan attention, but the name made me curious. I kept an open ear as I walked, listening to what Ethan was saying.
They say the Pelted Man has the power to control wolves. He lives in these woods. Apparently, he lived in them for centuries. He owns them, basically. And we're just visiting them.
He waved his hands around in a stereotypically spooky way.
Yeah, right,
I said, speaking up.
And what is he gonna do? Come kill us tonight while we're all sleeping? This isn't an 80s horror movie, Ethan.
Terry gasped with mock shock.
Wait, what if this is an 80s horror movie?
He clapped his hands to his face, dramatically fainting into my arms.
Oh no!
I laughed, catching him and shoving him back to his feet. Bryce giggled slightly, covering his mouth.
Right, Ethan.
Right, Ethan.
Why are you telling us this? Is that all to the story? It's not a particularly good one, if I say so myself.
I put my hand on my hips. Ethan pushed his glasses back up to his face, and they fell back down, which promptly led him to readjusting them. Embarrassed.
Oh, there's more to the story, Andy.
Ethan grinned, running ahead of us a bit before turning around and grabbing a stick off the ground.
Apparently, he's a werewolf.
The 3 of us blankly stared at him, thoroughly underwhelmed.
Yeah, werewolves aren't that scary anymore, man. They're just furries, but less colorful.
Terry reached down to pick up some sticks off the ground, keeping them underneath his arm.
Not that I know anything about furries.
You aren't letting me finish. Ethan said, running back over to us carrying sticks. Okay, continue. This is the problem with Ethan. He always wanted to be the center of attention, even when no one else cared. Right. So do you know about werewolf skin? He said.
Werewolf skin?
Bryce asked, raising an eyebrow. We got into the place where we'd seen a lot of sticks earlier, a pretty patch of trees where plenty of branches laid on the ground, knocked off by nature or something. I walked ahead a little bit and started to gather some. Yes, werewolf skin. According to some legends, werewolves actually transform by getting into the skin of a werewolf and fusing with it on a full moon. Werewolf skin can, increase your lifespan by 30 years if you wear it. Terry nudged me as Ethan talked, looking though as he was about to burst out laughing.
Holy shit, dude. It really is fursuits.
I couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing, dropping the sticks I was holding. Ethan stopped talking and stared at us, hurt expression on his face. You guys don't even care, do you? You just want to make fun of me. No, keep going. I said with a wide grin on my face as I tried to suppress my laughter. Ethan clutched the sticks he was carrying and stormed off into the woods, leaving us in the spot as Terry and I laughed. Bryce walked over to us, awkwardly smiling. A forced one.
That was kind of mean. He was just trying to tell us a scary story to set the mood.
It's fine. He'll get over it. He was just trying to scare us and it didn't work. I glanced over to where Ethan had left and continued picking up sticks satisfied.
Yeah, but never mind,
Bryce said, pursing his lips. Looking back on it, I wish we would have been nicer to Ethan. He didn't deserve how rude we were. He was just probably trying to make friends. We were kids. And judgmental kids at that. We just assumed that he was trying to bully us. In reality, we were probably the bullies. But Ethan didn't come back that night. By 9:40, the counselors and teachers had gathered everyone outside of our cabins to declare that Ethan was missing. Miss Price, our teacher, had called me, Bryce, and Terry over to talk to us in private.
You three. You went out with Ethan. You were the last ones to see him. Why didn't he come back with you?
A chill went through our trio. We knew we couldn't tell her, but obviously, looking back, we should have just told her. But as mentioned before, we were kind of the bullies and we subconsciously realized it. And fearing we would get in trouble for telling the truth, our thoughts went to lies. We were getting sticks and Ethan walked off into that one clearing, I blurted out.
He went deeper into the woods to get sticks. He told us he'd meet us back at the camp.
Followed by Terry's panicked continuation. Miss Price stared at us for a moment in frustration, sighing.
Kids, we put you in groups specifically so you wouldn't split up.
Oh, we said after a moment of awkward silence.
It's all right. It's all right. We should have explained it better. Just go back to your cabins. We'll find your friend. Stay safe.
We nodded and ran back to our cabins, eager to be out of this awkward situation.
I can't believe Ethan ditched us, man. Total attention stealer. He's probably just hanging out by some pond with frogs or something.
Terry said as we walked back. Bryce, who stayed silent, suddenly spoke up, snapping at us.
You guys are being awful. What if he got hurt and it's our fault? Why didn't we tell her what actually happened?
What, so I can come back in a few hours to get some pity points as some kind of victim? That's all he wants us to do, Bryce. It's just a plea for attention. I crossed my arms, rolling my eyes.
But what if it isn't? What if he's actually hurt?
Bryce pleaded, panic in his voice. I sighed, as Terry kept walking ahead of us. Listen, we'll wait a couple of hours, and if he still isn't back by then, we'll look for him, the three of us.
You promise?
Bryce asked, breathing heavily from stress. Sure. Ethan didn't come back that night, and around 11 the three of us snuck out as promised to Bryce to find our acquaintance. We retraced our steps, being careful so that the teachers and counselors wouldn't see us. Once we got far enough away from the campsite, I got my phone out and turned on a flashlight, shining it around. Okay, stay close, I said, pointing it forward.
Where do you think he could have gone?
Terry asked, glancing around.
You guys remember which way he went?
I think he went, that way, I said, after a moment of glancing around. We kept walking, and before long, got to the patch of trees where Ethan had run off. Ethan! I yelled, shining my light around. Listen, we're sorry. Are you here? No response. Bryce turned on his phone flashlight too, followed by Terry. Okay. Well, maybe he's further ahead. No need to get worried, I said, glancing at Bryce, who was very much worried. We kept pushing on, going past the patch of trees into the thicker, less explored woods.
Ethan, where are you? You're kinda causing a scene!
Terry yelled, walking towards some trees. I ran ahead a little, searching around for any sign of Ethan. I wasn't really searching as well as I should have, and I should have stayed with the group. But I was tired, and I really just wanted to get this over with. A stick snapped ahead at me as I froze. Terry? Was that you? It wasn't Bryce. He was right behind me. Leaves rustled as I waved my flashlight around, getting a little frightened now.
Ethan?
Bryce yelled, voice shakily. I took a few steps forward and stopped as I stepped onto something that wasn't the ground. I slowly looked down, hands trembling, to see his skin laid there. Torn patches of it ripped cleanly off of something. It was laid in a bunch on the ground like something had peeled it off and disregarded it. I screamed, almost dropping my phone, and backed up. Skin?
What?
Bryce gasped, glancing at the skin before horror filled his face.
Whose skin is that?
Bryce asked, hyperventilating. I don't know. I don't know. I stammered, unable to take my eyes away from it. My mind instantly made the connection, however. That was Ethan's skin. Something had peeled off his skin, and we're staring at it in horrified silence until our shock was interrupted by a low growl from behind us. Standing there, between the trees engulfed in shadow, was a massive, drooling wolf on its hind legs. It stood at least 14 feet tall, with a hunchback of tattered fur patterns. I tried to comprehend what I was looking at, as it stared at us with its two amber eyes. Something's flesh stuck into its black warped jaw.
He looked like a wolf man, made of dozens of different pelts of other wolves. I understood now. The werewolf skin. It was wearing so many werewolf skins to the point where it barely even resembled a human. That was it. The Pelted Man turned away from us, lumbering back into the woods. It had no interest in us. It already had fed on Ethan shortly before. Terry found the two of us 5 minutes later standing there in shock and terror. Despite how many times he asked us what happened, we never told him. We were too scared, unable to process what happened to us and what we just seen. We went back to our cabins, and the next day the trip ended early. Ethan never got found, and our school never went on that campsite again. And from what I know, neither has Bryce. Until now, that is. I had to get this off my chest. I had to tell somebody. As far as I know, the Pelted Man is still in those woods, where it's always been. It was there before we came there, and it will be there long after. I have no plans to go back there at all, and I'm not risking my goddamn life to be devoured by that thing. This wolfing monstrosity, or whatever the fuck it is. I still remember those amber eyes staring at me from the darkness, and as I stare back, I remember Ethan's words. He owns the woods, and we're just visiting.